Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Heavenly Father, we come to your presence with grateful and expectant hearts that you will bless our Pulong 3 elevator speech tonight. That as we gather, we thank each one who is present, the mentors, the mentees, and our guests. May you equip our speaker, Dr. Kathy Abriam Yago, with wisdom. May you continue to enlighten and guide the steering committee in the leadership of Dr. Sagar and the rest of the team in leading P3 program. And may your purpose be accomplished through this program. All these things we pray through Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you for that wonderful prayer, Ms. Riputente. And thank you, all attendees, mentors, and mentees. Thank you for joining us tonight. This series of webinars are based on our mentees' learning needs. We will have two raffles during the program. One is for appreciation of the mentors and mentees who have already completed the survey. And the other raffle is for the attendees. And to be able to get a certificate of attendance, you will need to do the evaluation. Thank you. And we will now have the greetings from our very own PNAA President, Dr. Gloria Beriones. Oh, you're muted, Dr. B.
All right, so welcome our PNAA colleagues and dear friends to the third Patnubay sa Pagtatagumpay mentoring program. The brand is P3. Thank you for being a part of this. We have now P3, Webinar 3, Pulong 3. And tonight, we are just so grateful that the moderator is our RVP of the North Central Region, Mrs. Manilita Dayon. And of course, our powerful speaker is Dr. Katherine Abriam Yago, whom we respect and admire. So this elevator speech is one short, brief message that we could learn to really project ourselves of who we are and the message that we convey to the people that we meet in a very short time, but we will live a lifetime of impression. So tonight, no other than the bright and very powerful speaker, Dr. Katherine Yago, will really make us so engaged and vibrant for tonight's program. So thank you everyone for being here.
Thank you very much, Dr. Beriones, for the very warm welcome. Let us now stay comfortable and learn from this lady who is not a stranger to PNAA. The abridged version of my introduction may not show justice for all her accomplishments, and for that, I apologize. She graduated her bachelor's degree in nursing, public health certificate from University of San Francisco, a master's of science in nursing from University of San Diego, and a doctor of education in curriculum and instruction from again University of San Francisco. As an educator, she has been a professor and instructors at different schools of nursing and state universities in San Jose, California, and held various positions as head of programs. Her hospital experience started in humble beginning as a nurse's aide, and advanced to become a charge nurse in an intensive care unit. She also held a position as a student nurse clinical coordinator and clinical instructor. She then became the director of the Valley Foundation School of Nursing in San Jose State University. She received multiple awards in leadership, mentorship, and as an expert speaker. She published and peer reviewed a number of articles and co authored books. In addition to being a poster presenter and a poster session judge, and indeed she wore multiple hats as a patient advocate, an educator, and as a nurse. With honor and pride, our Pulong speaker for tonight on the topic elevator speech. Let us all welcome Professor Emerita, the Valley Foundation School of Nursing, San Jose State University, Dr. Katherine Abriam Yago.
Thank you so much, Bong. I just want to say thank you, and I'm just so happy and privileged to be here today. And so my topic is elevator speech. So let me go ahead and see if I can share this with you. Ooh, there we go. Now, let's talk about some of my learning objectives. So I'm going to explain to you different scenarios when an elevator speech will be required. We'll be discussing the elements of an elevator speech and also describe ways to integrate your story in an elevator speech. For right now, I want to get a feel of how many people have done an elevator speech in their career. Can you answer that question in the chat? So what are we getting in the chat? Are people responding?
Yes,
Yes,
we
we have
have
several.
about 9 who responded with yes, and
With
others have
yes,
said many times.
many times. Okay, that's good. It just gives me an idea now how to focus on what content area I want to really be able to emphasize in the issue of an elevator speech. So the topic was of interest to me because of my work as a assistant professor teaching a nurse leadership course. And part of the coursework, in addition to the paperwork that needs to be completed, research, poster presentations, I was helping students prepare for their first job. I also coach them in interviewing skills. And one piece that I really focused on with students is to look at their elevator speech too. Because in their elevator speech, one of the issues of concern is how do they separate themselves from other new grads? And truly it is their story. Again, the topic came up when I was teaching graduate students in a nurse educator program. Again, what is your story? The next area is in the area of advanced practice nurses, who want to be nurse educators. And with that also, what is their stories? One of the issues that have come up in developing a elevated or elevator speech is the fact that people feel like, oh, what do I do? What will set me apart? And I'm really scared to develop this, or do I have something to say of importance? Well, the bottom line with an elevator speech, it's your story. And when you tell your story, it tells about your passion, what you want to do, and what your interest is. So these are some scenarios for an elevator speech. Networking opportunity, a job interview, where instead of saying or thinking about an elevator speech, people will ask you in the job interview, tell me about yourself. For some folks, the interest to move from bedside nursing to a management role is something. But the other thing also, what I found in working with colleagues in PNAA is that they would tell me, you know, I don't know if I'm able to apply for those positions because maybe I'm not ready, or what will set me apart? And so working with some of the students and also some of our PNA members, it takes about an hour in the face-to-face discussion where I would say, well, why did you go to nursing school? What is your career path? What is your story? And that's going to be very important, again, in developing your elevator speech. And an elevator speech, as you know, and what I want to say, you could Google elevator speech and you will find many, many, many comments, what to do, how to develop one. But for those who are just in the beginning of doing an elevator speech, what would help is that if you would write down in, again, a list, what are the things that you've done, what you've accomplished. And this development of an elevator speech can also be helped with your mentor, talking to your mentor about it. So sometimes sharing your resume with your mentor, talking about maybe your career path, what you want to do, this would also help you in your elevator speech. The other thing also is people would say, an elevator speech, I don't know, I could mess up. Well, if you reframe it and think about, it's my story. I am the expert in my story. I have something to contribute to this community, and it's my story. So to be able to present the elevator speech, just realizing it's your story, how can you mess up, right? Is be able to do that. So some of the elements of an elevator speech are, of course, your introduction, your name, who you are, what you do, what you're looking for, how you can benefit the institution, and value. What value do you bring to that institution? What sets you apart from other candidates? And that's how you integrate your story into your elevator speech. Now, the other thing I want to comment is that if you look at many resources on developing an elevator speech, it will say an elevator speech should be 30 to 60 seconds. Well, in nursing, in your career path, you probably may need a little bit more than 30 seconds, that you may need probably another minute or minute and a half to really share your story with them. The other thing is it's important to outline what you say and then to make it succinct in what you really want to portray and how you can articulate what that elevator speech is all about. The other thing is to practice the speech with other people, get feedback. That would be important. And especially having folks that you in PNAA, in schools of nursing, in your support groups, that would be important to also be able to practice that speech. The other thing also is to record your speech and note your body language. Because in recording your speech, sometimes people get nervous and they speak too fast, and this way they can pace themselves in that. And also in your elevator speech, when you present it, it's really important to also to know what your body language looks like and your passion in your voice. Are you enthusiastic? Do you get excited about what you do? You talk about your education and all the work that you've done. And then the last thing is to practice, 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 and more practice, so that you get it to the point where you have it timed, you are able to present what you want to present, and that is going to take a lot of practice. So now it's going to be your turn. I want to see how you've developed the elevator speech when you've done it before. And this is an opportunity for all of you to share that experience and to help each other in giving comments about those elevator speech. So I'm going to stop sharing now, and let's see if we can get some folks to share their elevator speech. Or if you have questions, you can put that in the chat before we continue to talk about this.
Dr. Yago, this is
Yeah.
Manali. This is Bong.
Hi.
I have given an elevator speech before, not knowing that it is the elevator speech. And when I Googled it today, I found out that, wow, so that's elevator speech. But anyway, I Googled it a long time ago. But anyway, I would say that if I'm applying for a job, or if I wanted a job, or I wanted a position, I already know what I know, for what I know as a person myself. I will always know, should I, like, if I give you an example, I would say, Dr. Yago, I'm applying for a job as a director of nursing and at your hospital. My name is Manalita Dayon, and I have a 50 years experience in nursing. I did my degrees. I studied at the University of Philippine Women's University, and got my master's degree at Governor State University. But I also will tell you that I have had police experience, and I am. Well, I'm sorry. All right. Thank you. And so when I gave that speech before in front of my the director of nursing, I got my job as a charge nurse, or it was just an example what I told you. But I got the job as a supervisor in a nursing home after that. So no, I knew all. I just kind of remembered all that I have done in the past, and that's what I did. Just gave them all what I have, and I was given an appointment for an interview. Thank you. Just an experience.
That's wonderful. I think that when we're talking about the elevator speech, what your passion, what you've done, but also I just want to make a comment that when you're doing an elevator speech, especially when you're, again, interviewing for a job position, your resume or your CV will already be given to the person that's going to be hiring. So that way you can cut down, instead of saying, well, I was educated at this and this, they already have that the resume or CV. So you could be able to cut down and just hit the points that make you special, why they should hire you. So that's just one thing I just want to let you know. I saw something in the chat where someone was asking how many sentences are going to be required. And that's why the whole issue of practice, because many of you, your experience is vast. And that when you're looking at and applying for a position, to look at those critical elements that, again, make you stand out, and also the elements of value, what you bring to that. When you talked about that, how many years experience, that's the other piece. Again, I just want to say, when you're looking at, you're Googling this, there are some of those, again, resources that say it must be only 200 something words. It only should be 10 sentences. But remember, it's your story. That's going to be the most powerful thing, that human connection, what you're going to be able to do with that. That's even, people will remember that when you're looking for a job position. So think about that. I just saw that in the chat where people are, asking about what numbers and that. And this is another way when you're working with your mentor that can help you with that. Also in looking at what are those elements. And part of looking at what you bring is also from the resume that your mentee will share with the mentor in developing that. But that's great. Okay. I have
Dr.
to tell you,
Yago,
yes.
there is one here from Maureen Joy saying, would you use an elevator speech when it comes to advocating for things such as open and close quotation, no fly zone, no admission during shift change?
Can you say that? Could you repeat that again, please? That
Would
was
you
a lot.
use,
That was more than
I
one.
know. So would the first part of this says, would you use an elevator speech when it comes to advocating for things such as no fly zone, no admission during shift change? So it's in a clinical situation.
Okay, well, I think in a clinical situation like that, we teach our students that
We lost.
Okay, I think her Wi-Fi just got disconnected because she was freezing there for a little bit.
In the meantime, can we raffle the first gift card while waiting for Dr. Yago?
Okay.
Oh, sure. Just one moment. Let me share my screen. Atikar, can you give me? Oh, there.
It's, I gave you your co-host. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Melissa Cunanan. I'm from PNA North Texas, and I'm one of the PNAA board members. So anyway, tonight, this is another exciting part of the webinar. This is supposed to be towards the end, but we'll raffle off at least 2 for now, or 3 free gift cards for the attendees. Okay, so we have all your names on the list.
You have an incoming text message.
And let me, there you go. Bob Gahal, you're the first winner.
Say something. Hello, Bob.
Hello. Is that a free
Congratulations.
trip to the Philippines?
For $25, it's the special.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Congratulations.
congratulations. Let's do it. Another one. The next winner is
Oh,
Maureen Joyce Sain. Sain.
sent a question too long ago.
Mary
Correct.
Joy, are you
Thank
there?
Green.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And next one, the last one is Miss Gloria Simon,
From Illinois.
Illinois. Congratulations. So we have 3 winners for a $25 gift card.
Amazon gift card.
Congratulations.
Maureen,
Is Dr. Yago back yet? Because if she is not yet back, we could do the other raffle too in the interest of time. This will be for the mentors and mentees who have already completed the survey.
Okay, let me.
Is Dr. Yago back? Let me call her.
Dr. Sager, while Melissa is doing that as well, there are people who would like to speak, like Larissa may be able to speak in between this or right after this. And I'm sure there are other people who would be able to share their elevator speech while waiting for Dr. Yago. I will text her as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Jurado. So let's hear from Miss Larissa, Africa.
Everybody, I just wanted to share an elevator speech that I actually just used actually 2 weeks ago. And it's a little different because it's not about applying for a job, but it's a business conversation. So the situation was I was at a conference and I saw a colleague who's also a CNO for another organization. So how I approached my elevator speech was basically just coming up to her and saying hello and how much I've enjoyed seeing her. And then I said, I've been following your organization and your team. It seems like they're embarking on some pretty amazing, innovative solutions. You might have heard that we made enhancements in our system that would allow organizations to efficiently manage the validation of clinical competencies for new graduate nurses. I think there might be some synergies between our organizations. Can I set something up with you so we can discuss this further? So I wanted it to be short and sweet and get to the point of what my ask is.
I think that's awesome, Larissa. So I guess what Dr. Yago was trying to say earlier is you can come up with a elevator speech in every different situation. So you try to, like when you're saying, you're like Bong saying, when she's trying to get a job, yes, you can have come up with a elevator speech based on that. When you are trying to introduce yourself in a bigger association, like maybe leaders, nursing leaders, you can come up with an elevator speech with that. If you are trying to be at a conference of ethnic minority association, come up with elevator speech on that. So you somehow can design that elevator speech based on the situation or the event. And I see that Dr. Yago is back, and at a later time, I see Dr. Mauritius' hands is up. I also see a comment from Dr. Barros. Maybe he could also share her elevator speech. So Dr. Yago, you have a lot of people here who would like to share their elevator speech in a moment. Thank you.
Okay.
Dr. Yago, you want to take over? Feel free.
Yes. Okay. So Risa, I see your hand up.
Hello, good evening again, everybody. I'm Risa Mauricio, so one of the mentors of P3. So thank you, Kathy, for that short intro on what elevator pitch is or elevator speech. I think in addition to what Dr. Jurado and Dr. Africa was saying, my recommendation to people when they're developing themselves, preparing for an elevator speech is reflection. Because really elevator speech is not planned. Like, it just happened, you're an elevator or somewhere and you only have probably 1 second or 1 minute to talk to this person, right? Because you all are in a hurry. So reflection is important because then you can bring out decks of cards that is important and appropriate for that situation. So an example that I have at my elevator, one of the experiences that I had with elevator pitch was not actually on promoting myself for a job. It was on promoting the program that I was leading with the Society of Critical Care Medicine, the Choosing Wisely, which is part of ABIM, the Association of Board of Internal Medicine, asking all professionals to have something evidence-based, like a short program where people can hone in when they rounds during clinical situations so that there's no wastage in what we do at the clinical area, right? So I saw this person who's the president of ABIM at that time, and I wanted him to rally behind what we were doing. So I introduced myself and I just said, I'm so-and-so, I'm the chair of this program. So saying that, term alone ignited him because that's was his interest. And I said, can I have time with you? And that's all. So pick a card that's in you based on your reflection that you can put up front that is significant to the conversation so that it's powerful, so that it's impactful to the person that you're talking with. And you can gain whatever you want from that person, whether it's Taylor Swift or whoever, the president of the USA.
No, that's great. It's truly about that you hit it right there. It's that relationship. What's that connection that you have with that individual? And like you said, to be able to go back and say, when do we have a time to meet again would be another piece. So that the elevator speech is just like that introduction. The key thing is right. What you said too is that reflection, who you are, what do you do? I think that's all very critical in this elevator speech. And I know many of you who are right now on this webinar, your elevator speech may change where you will apply. Just like Leo talked about, if you're one place that relates to that specific mission of that organization, that would be another way. But the bottom line is, again, elevator speech, what's going to be the most important way to reflect what you would like to say and what you want to make that connection with, because really it's about that relationship that first time. What's going to happen with that relationship? So that's another piece. Okay, I see Bong, your hand is raised.
I think in the beginning, it will be a little bit, you need a lot of confidence on what you know and what you can offer when you are giving, your elevator pitch. And it is very important, especially for anyone, nurses or anyone who will be wanting to elevate their career or anything. But it is very important that they have that self-confidence, that they can do it, that they can say it, and with all the dedication, and that can be seen by your audience. You can reflect that when you are talking about it. It always and like you said, it always needs a lot of practice. Listen to yourself, show that you can say it, you can do it. And I guess in the beginning, really, it's a lot of confidence that you need. Thank you.
Dr. Yago, just to answer Mary Joyce saying question earlier, can she use elevators pitch for when she's talking about no-fly zone or anything that she is advocating for? And yes, you could be in a legislative arena, or you could be in a meeting with all other individuals, Mary Joy, talking about your advocacies about things that you would like to change in nursing, or, so for that reason, so you could talk about that, why you think no-fly zone is necessary. But obviously, introduce yourself and then where you're coming from, and then talk about why no-fly zone is important to you. Make sure that that no-fly zone is an important discussion right at the moment. So that's when you talk about no-fly zone, or the other thing that you talk about is no admission during shift change. I think it's the same thing. So.
I think also, this Manalita again, I think also I just gave an elevator pitch not too long ago when I said I'm really passionate about climate change, and I ended up being a co-chair. So thank you.
Well, you bring up something that's also important in developing an elevator speech, a passion, your enthusiasm for that, and people will remember that. Again, it's that human connection. It's also important with that piece.
So Dr. Yago, I think Dr. Barras might want to say something.
Okay, I can't see everybody here, so yes, please unmute yourself and share.
Dr. Barras, I see you are in there. Feel free to say your elevator speech.
My elevator speech usually, because I'm in a leadership role, especially when I have to do a business case or trying to highlight a part of your presentation. A lot of the C leadership have no time to listen to you, but to highlight more on what is your ask. Another example is, for example, PNAA Foundation. You know, if you're invited to speak and talk about PNAA Foundation, you can briefly talk about the mission and why is it important for nurses to support the foundation. Because if you are in a formal event, they don't have time to listen to you. But if you are going to highlight through 1 minute or 2 minutes, the why, answering the why do I need your attention? Why do I need you to listen to me? Why do I need you to hear what I'm going to say? That is what an elevator speech about.
I think Miss Maria wants to say something, and this is her question. How is this different from business school elevators pitch to pitch yourself in 30 seconds time it takes to ride an elevator with someone? That's a question from Miss Maria.
Well, I think you're right. How do you do all this in like 30 seconds? Well, part of it also when you're doing this elevator speech again is that, again, looking at, as already mentioned, the why, again, what is the purpose of this? And I think in business, you're pitching either business for money, for something, a product, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, again, they're very similar. Some things are very similar, but it's in the context of, again, how it's going to be presented. But I think that would be a piece to be able to answer that question, is that, again, looking at that content and how it's going to be delivered and being very specific, as Risa talked about in her comment. I like all these comments because it's great to be able to talk about this so that people can get an idea of where they could be able to use this. I know that when working with nursing students, they would say, I don't have a story. Well, yes, you do. You have a story. What is that story? You all have stories. And that helps that connection. When they'll say, well, you know, I don't have any work experience, but one of the connections as student nurses, I have worked at the VA hospital, for 2 years. At the VA, and I want to work for. So even nursing students, they would start with something very simple, and then as they grow in their career, then there would be more to what they need to say.
Dr. Yago, Concepcion Sumalde has a question on the chat box. She says, in an elevator speech, how can I ask or convince a nurse to join who is not a chapter member and not a PNAA member? So we need that.
Well, I think one of the things that we've done is Lourdes Muldres has again, elevator speech it's so short, right? It's really short. And sometimes what could help people to join an organization is they have to come. They have to come and see it at work, because you can, oh yes, we do this, we do that. But when they come to an educational conference, when they come to some of the our association's activities, when they meet people that are very influential, you know, PNANC had our spring conference, and one of our speakers was Dr. Marie O'Rourke, who developed the Nurse Practice Act in the state of California. And just to see that the connection and that. But the other thing also is why you join, your purpose, what you value. And it's through organizations that help you be an advocate for other issues, right? So I guess that would be my response.
Dr. Yago, there's a question from Dirksen Tagiam, and he's asking, how about using hypothetical scenarios to make elevator speech, especially those who do not have a lot of experience?
Oh, I would
also
like to talk to you personally. I would help you get your elevator speech together, because it's really takes some time, because people say, well, I don't have anything to share. Oh, yes. Usually when I work with students, graduate DMP students, we come up with something, because it's again, it's your story, what you bring, what you value, and what is your purpose.
Yes. So
what is your purpose?
May I add
So whoever that was, please contact me. I'll be glad to help you.
Right.
Because again, this is an individual thing. It's you know, I can't give everyone to say, well, do this and it's going to be okay. It's not. It's really taking the time, as Risa said, to reflect and look at what you bring. And you probably don't think you've accomplished it, like you said, Bong, but you did. You realize, wow, I did this. So whoever that was, please contact me and I will help you with that, because you have a story. You have a story, but you don't know it yet.
Actually, he does. He does have a lot of experience, but I guess it's more of the practicing it and reflecting it. Actually, he is my nephew. So if he would,
Dr. Yago.
I'll be glad to help.
I think
Dr.
he's trying
Yago,
to
I will
survive.
contact you.
Okay.
I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm currently in the DNP program. So right now I'm basically a student, but I feel like I'm trying to reflect what really sets me apart. Right? So I'm trying to think, I know I have a lot of experience, but I feel like other DNP students, the other nurses also have the same experience as me. So the question is, what really sets me apart? That will take some time, and I'm gonna contact you.
No, and I do that. I work with students. They've come to my house. I worked in groups, and I say, okay, what's your story? And then finally, after the biggest question is always, what is your purpose? What do you value? Why nursing? And even that's just very important. So I will work with you. If anybody, I will work with you, and you will have an elevator speech.
I think we will all be surprised. We will all be surprised that after this, we will know that we do have value and we just don't know how to present it. And just like Dr. Risa said, reflect on all those, and then it will just come together. I feel like it's going to happen for one of us, or all of us.
I mean, just all of you to come here just to participate in this webinar and to hear people's stories. Well, I don't know, this is this. Everyone has contributed much to what they've learned in their career path. And that's all important, that you're all here to hear that, because each one's going to be different. Their perception, their perspective, but it's something, again, having this type of discussion is important to see that, yes, you do have that purpose and you do have something to share.
You know what? I think also that because of our culture as Filipinos, we are a little bit embarrassed to show off what we know, to tell everyone, tell everybody that we are this and we are, we have done this in our past. And I think it's just the culture. And if we are going for an advancement, I think it's not embarrassing to say, yes, I am that and I did those.
Yes, and that was my experience in working earlier, and participating with folks in the PNA, well, how many years ago, is that they would tell me, oh, I am embarrassed. I'm concerned about this. And I said, no, you have a story. And the fact is, please tell your nurse manager, if you're interested to be in middle management, tell them. Just because you show up and you do a good job, you do everything, you need to let them know. And that's one of the things, that's part of the culture, as you said, Bong, that, no, I shouldn't do this, but, let them know. Let them know. We are advocates for our patients and families. Be advocates for yourself and take a chance, be brave and try something maybe new. And you have so many people in this organization that can help you and connect with you. And that's the beauty about this. There are so many resources within the organization and people that are here and that's leaders can help you. Because again, my purpose is always open doors for folks, people, so that they can advance their degrees and also advance a professional career. This is my legacy and promise to my parents. And that's what I'm going to continue to do.
Dr. Yago?
Yes.
I just want to continue with one of the questions here in the chat. And this is coming from Concepcion Sumalde. And it says, in an elevator speech, how can I ask or convince a nurse who I don't know to be a PNA chapter member and a PNAA member? I think this is so relevant to all of us.
Yes, again, I think what's going to be important with that, you have to show them, as I mentioned earlier, and I think I answered part of that question, that you have to show them to be involved. Community service. Our community will be judged again by the work that we do in the community as nurses. That's how we'll be judged. And that's really important to what we do. We have to be a voice. We have to be a voice. We as Filipino nurses, we need to have that voice for others. And you have to show them, it's not, let me just comment on something with Dr. Maria Rourke, who made the comment. When we enter the profession, and when we look at the code of ethics, and we look at what we do in this profession, it's an obligation to let people know what we do. It is our obligation and our commitment to the community to be that voice. That's part of what nurses do. And we need to continue to be that voice. Right now, there's all these things on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And many opportunities have opened for that, for some of our nurses to be involved in that or called to participate in making decisions on DEI. So I think, again, we need to continue. How do we do that? That's an issue, I think, not only with our organization, it's probably with all other nursing. It's not just us. How do we get people to understand? And part of it is also, I think, with our new members, our new students, we have to be out there. We have to be out there in the community and let them know people are interested in community service.
Right. So,
but how do we do it? I don't know. It's a question. I don't know. How do we do it?
Yeah. Dr. Yago, may I add?
Yes.
So I think this presentation really I like because it's a conversation.
Yes.
This is a way that our members are sharing how they could develop the skills because you have given them what should be the purpose. You need to have a purpose. When we develop the mantra, we care, that's an elevator speech. You have a wisdom, you have your excellence, collaboration, advocacy, respect, and equity. When you tell that story and we are united in that voice, you are telling each one of us and the mission of the PNA of America. So whatever you do, you zero into the mission of the PNA of America. But again, zero into tonight's Pulong 3. I really like these conversations. This is a community of PNAA colleagues sharing and asking the skills you have given them the points. Now it's practice, 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 practice. So thank you, Miss Dr. Sager. Thank you also, Bong, and everyone, because this is a good platform.
True. And to practice, I honestly would like to request all these attendees to ask their questions to be heard instead of writing them. That will be a practice for you to be able to say something, to ask the question. So I would like to call on Maria.
Bong, we're actually out of time.
We are?
Yes. We are over our time. So
thank you very much for reminding. And yeah, maybe my clock watch is a little bit late.
Well, we are engaged.
We are so engaged.
So yeah.
May I then continue this on another conversation with Dr. Yago, and she is very open and welcoming to talk to you about more elevator speeches or pitches. And for now, we would like to call on Dr. Leo Jurado to give our closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you once again for all attendees. I'm glad that there are many of us here tonight. Again, that's one of the things that you can get from PNAA. Automatic mentoring, like tonight. That's basically an automatic mentoring that you are practicing elevator speech. And it's a great thing for Dr. Yago to be the one doing this. Again, in mentoring, like Dr. Yago, she has always been a mentor. You do not have to say anything sometimes as a mentor. You just have to show the way. Many, many years back when I was joining PNAA, at that time, there were few doctorally prepared nurses, and you could count it with the fingers of one hand how many are Filipino nurses who are doctorally prepared. And we are with the National Council of Ethnic Minority Nursing Association, and even the president, the representatives from PNAA were not doctorally prepared, but the very few of them, and one of them is Dr. Yago, and I always look up to her and say, gee, how I wish I could be like her. She's in higher education, she's doctorally prepared. She is so humble, but self-assured and confident. So again, that's mentoring by example. And that's what Dr. Yago is. That's why as leaders, we are always look at a stage. People are watching what we do. People are listening to what we say. And basically from there, they get mentored with what we do. So again, many of you, if you would like to connect with Dr. Yago or any members of PNAA, PNAA leaders, and you would like to share the elevator speech that you put together, we would love to help you do that, because we would like each one of us to be eloquent speakers and able to articulate what are in their mind. So thank you and good evening to all our participants this evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jurado. And for now, I would like to ask Dr. Sager for some closing statements.
Actually, we need the second raffle, the drawing, for the mentors and mentees who have completed the
Survey.
the survey.
Oh, good.
Yes, the survey is really very important. And those who have not yet completed it, you have time to do it. We are counting on you. It will not only improve your cohort in terms of activities, but it will improve the program for the incoming cohorts. So Melissa, please. So maybe draw the book first.
Okay, so there, I got my screen on. So thank you to everyone who participated in the survey. And I'm gonna we will draw one book courtesy of Dr. Sager and 2 gift cards. And the first winner for the book is, the lucky winner for tonight is Lorraine Baut Evangelista.
Evangelista.
Wow. Congratulations, Lorraine.
Congratulations. And for the first gift card for the survey participants, it's Arlene Azores. Congratulations, Arlene. You got a $25 gift card.
Please send your address.
Thank you.
And then
The last one.
the last one, the lucky winner is, Agapita Santa Romana.
Okay, Aga.
Congratulations, Aga.
Congratulations to all the winners. And I guess that is the end of our.
Take a picture.
Yeah, let's take a picture so everyone could participate. And then we have a few minutes for the pulong. The session is until 10:15. So if our mentors and mentees have things to share or questions, who's gonna take the picture? Please show your faces.
I'll take it. Go ahead, turn on your videos.
Put on your videos. Yes.
Put on your smiles.
All right. Any more? The rest are shy. Okay. 1, 2, smile. One more. 1, 2, smile. Okay, we're good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you to all the attendees. We're looking forward to you attending the next one. That is June 28th, I believe. But we will have the flyers. So thank you again for attending. And the mentors and mentees, please do stay. If you have questions, comments, hopefully everyone has connected with each other, and you have your mentoring partnerships.
So Dr. Sager, is there a post-evaluation so that we will see?
Yes. I did mention it before the attendees left.
Okay, so we can send it to those who left already, but for those who are still here, can you please take a few minutes to go ahead and complete the evaluation?
Okay. And while people are completing the evaluation, we have time. The P3 committee, we're all here. Well, most of us are here tonight. So we're ready for your questions or comments.
So I think I will ask the question. How
Okay.
did you find the program? I will give a gift to someone who's going to answer me when they go to the national convention.
I'll answer.
Yes.
This is Mafe.
Okay. Go ahead, Mafe. You'll get the gift.
I cannot turn on my camera because the camera will log me out. anyway, I really appreciate everyone's guidance and mentorship, especially my mentor, because those gentle reminders, as well as you know, advancement in our professionalism, like organizational leadership, is very important for me because I'm learning to be a leader in our organization, and I appreciate all the kind words and guidance to be a good leader. Thank you.
That's great. Joel Clemente, do you have your hand up?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't have my hand out right now because I just came from work. I just arrived home. Sorry.
Oh,
It's okay.
does anyone have a question, a comment?
Oh, Priscilla, I just put on the chat my email because I was seeing people wanted my email. So it's in the chat right now.
Okay. And if they lose it, they could email us and we will provide it because you gave us permission to.
I gave you permission.
To them.
I just want to comment, this was really an engaging webinar. And it's just something to be able to hear people's stories and comments. And wow, this is, wow. Anyway, I'm just wow with this. That
Well, thank you so much for being our speaker. We really appreciate it. As I was saying before, you presented it to our pilot program at PNA New York. We had a formal mentoring program with 4 pairs of mentors and mentees. And one of our mentors was Dr. Yago. And you know, all the way from California, and we really appreciated it. But any other comments?
Yes,
Maybe
I do. I just wanted to thank, I want to thank Dr. Mauricio, Dr. Jackie Barras, Dr. Concepcion Somalde. All those that participated. That's what makes me feel so happy. You know, continue to do that because your presence makes us so full of hope that this program is going to really help our members, our mentees. So please continue to speak up because it really validates our speaker that you are engaged, that you are you understand that you're able to learn and be able to apply the theory. So next time, I like this platform, have that conversation.
Yes, and maybe one day everybody will just say something and talk, and we'll see them. We hear their voices and we'll see their faces. That would be my dream to happen one day. All with the confidence to talk, to say something, and maybe, you know, it will encourage a lot of us.
Right. And then, for example, the nephew of Dr. Horado, who was that? I didn't know that, but then he spoke up. That is so powerful that we have a colleague who is going to be mentored by Dr. Yago and any one of us, right?
Okay, so we see Dr. Marlon Saria's hand is up.
Yeah, thank you, Carol. So Dr. Sager, I wanted to ask the group, we had a meeting yesterday with NCIMNA, the National Coalition for Ethnic Minority Nursing Associations, and Dr. Hermosa presented the, was it the charter? Or no, our goals, our strategic plan for the next couple of years. And as what happens with most of the meetings, you get voluntold if you attend. So I got voluntold to be part of the leadership development program and the mentorship program for NCIMNA. We are all aware that most of the other organizations, the National Black Nursing Association, Hispanic Association, and us, the Philippine Nursing Association, we already have our own mentoring programs. And for us, it's P3. I was thinking about it last night. What if maybe the second part to this P3 would be a cross mentoring across the different organizations, very similar to visiting student programs
ANA.
where we will send PNAA member to the Hispanic Nursing Association to be their mentor for 1 year, and maybe we will host a Black Nursing Association member for a mentoring program for 1 year. Would that be beneficial?
Yeah, I think the steering committee really need to discuss this. I think this has so much potential, you know, cross-culturally, diversity, inclusion, equity. I mean, I don't know what the others are saying, but I'm like seeing all the potential already, and I'm getting very excited because mentoring is really alive and well
Yes.
in nursing. You all know I've been with the ANA. This is gonna be my 5th year, this coming year, and two years as a mentor, and then 2 years as a mentor advisor. And I think we have a lot to offer from PNAA, having started our first cohort. So
So my thought about that is it's a good idea, but I'm just seeing and feeling so proud of our colleagues who are speaking up. So if we in this group can develop this colleagues of ours, remember, this is Filipino American nurses. If we can really flourish them to be speakers, to speak up and raise their hands like Dr. Jackie Barras, like the nephew of Dr. Horado, Dean Horado, Dr. Mauricio, somebody, Concepcion. That's what we want. Leaders that out anywhere they go, they can speak up. And this mentorship program, we have to grow this. Continue the conversations.
Right. And Dr. Birionis, may I say that when we mentor, we empower our mentee, because as we mentors leave our legacy in nursing, we empower them that they too in the future will be mentors and will be leaving their own legacy in nursing.
I know. And Dr. Marlon, I think you just gave a very powerful elevator pitch that already
yes,
isn't it right? It's kind of that kind of a powerful elevator speech that we want to hear. And my goodness, you told us everything, the advantages and all the things that it can bring to our association.
I have to have a shorter elevator speech because our hospital is only 4 floors.
Dr. Sager,
yes,
this is Sue.
yes,
I was just thinking that after this elevator speech presentation and engaged
audience,
mentors and yes, and mentees, that I think this is just my suggestion, that we should probably get a pair or more than that every week, have them record, practice their elevator speech, and make that as our promotion for, encouraging, especially the next cohort to participate in this program. So I was truly encouraged by Dr. Beriones when she requested during this month of the nurses celebration to record the different topics for the month, that I would like to clone that for the patnubay sa pagtatagumpay for our mentors and mentees, if they are paired together and, bring their elevator speech about this program, whatever phase they're in right now.
That would be great as like outcomes of our program. And just to piggyback on what you're suggesting, we have mentors and mentees who had suggested that they wanted to publish or improve their writing. So maybe we could have a panel for next and do a very interactive, engaging format like this where they ask questions. Just a thought. I think my mind kind of flew there, but I know Marlon is trying to give us an elevator speech about Insemna. And Dr. Biriones is like really wanting us to grow this program. And
because
I think
it's just starting.
Yes.
We're learning.
And I think we're all very proud of the program.
Yes.
But so for the fourth webinar, I don't want to put Bob on the spot, but he already has agreed to be the lead for that.
Moderator.
That is gonna be in where's my calendar? I think it's May. No, not May.
June 28th.
June 28th.
June 28th.
So and I'm also looking at the time. It's 10:13. I mean, I think as we still have mentors and mentees here. So you know, Jay, did you raise your hand? Any comment for us? Any suggestion? I know you folks put in you know, learning needs when you applied, but there anything else?
Good evening, everyone. I did not raise my hand, but I would like to take this opportunity, might as well, to thank Dr. Yago and most of the national leaders that I have met during the Insimna conference in Los Angeles. So during that time, I was able to do my quick pitch as who I am from PNA San Diego. And I was telling them that I am coming off from being a national board of director for the American Case Management Association. And then maybe this time I'll be able to give back to the Filipino community. So becoming active again with PNA. And since then, a member of the National and inaugural committee chair for our mental health advocacy committee here in San Diego. And just last Saturday, we made history by offering a free community event for the mental health wellness and awareness and resource fair. So again, that was my elevator pitch to Dr. Yago, and she was very nice and letting me know that she is there for me if I need to continue with this venture, especially helping out other Filipinos here in the US. So, and I'm giving back like what you keep telling us, Dr. Sager. So this is my way of giving back to the Filipino community. So thank you again for the opportunity.
I just want to say that I had met Jay, and I just want to say he will be a leader soon, very soon. And having the opportunity to exchange conversation, you know, as teachers, we're all teachers. We get an idea when we meet somebody. That first minute I knew, we'll see him more. And he has so much to contribute. And I'm just so proud that I had the opportunity to meet him because he has so much to contribute. And I am so glad that he's going to be more active with us because I anticipate in a couple of years, who knows, you know, next PNA president. That's my interaction, really.
Well, thank you again for that kind words. And I've met Dr. Biriones. I've met Dr. Gerardo during that time, and then Bob when he was here for our Excellence Award. And yep, so, Marlon, we go way back when he was here in San Diego as our chapter president. So hopefully, yep, going to ease in and really serve the community with the Filipino community.
Yes, because it truly is giving back. Many of us, or maybe all of us, are products of mentoring. We wouldn't have been where we are if not for our mentors. Any other comments? Ophelia, you raising
Yes.
your hand.
Hi, good
Hi.
evening. I didn't raise my hand, but I can also do my elevator pitch.
Yes, that'll be good.
Currently I am the president of the PNA New England, and I'm proud to be serving the New England chapter. And just to let you know my history with Dr. Biriones, when I met her, we clicked right away on the 42nd convention at in Boston. And when I saw her the next year in the General Assembly where she pitched in her PNAA care or We Care, and I said, oh, I get a goosebump because that's what my mantra is, PNA and E cares. So Dr. Biriones, we care. Thank you. That's my pitch.
There you go. There you go, Dr. Yago.
Thank you so much. But any question about the mentoring partnerships, your goals? Everyone is connected with their mentor or mentee?
Yes, I do with Dr. Stevens and Cora Marsigan. And I'm working on doing a research project that hopefully I can do, write some paper and also apply for some grant.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Any other comments? How many more people? Let's just like see the gallery.
Okay, I want to share something. Last month during the Pulong number 2, one of the attendees, Maureen Joyce Sane, and she was here earlier as well. She asked a question about if she can, she's still in, she was interested in signing up. And so I sort of interviewed her through the chat, and I asked her what her goals were, and she said she would like to write an article she would like to write articles and get published. So I said, well, you're actually talking to the right person, because if you want, I asked her what kind of articles and if it's a professional journal, scholarly journal, or just regular article. She said she would like to start, just regular newsletter or journals. So I told her, well, you're talking to the right person. I'm the editor-in-chief of Inside PNAA, and I can help you with that. And if you want to publish the professional articles or studies, I can help you. I'll link you up with somebody. And so she was very interested, and she actually submitted her first article, and it's going to be published in the May newsletter. We're finalizing the layout, and you will see her article.
That is great, Bob. So you are you are her mentor.
That's right.
Yes, you got picked, and maybe this is also a clue that for the next webinar, maybe we'll have like writing for publication.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it and talk on the details. But this has been a very good webinar and very interactive, and I think a lot of people have learned a lot, and this is really important. So thank you, Kathy, and thank you, group, for the involvement. And
I like it. Yeah, I like it to be interactive. Bob.
Yes. Yes, thank you all so much. Are there any questions? If you didn't get to ask your question tonight, there's always Moodle, and there's also email. And those who have not completed the survey, please take time to do it. It is for growing this cohort in terms of the richness of experiences, and also for our incoming cohort. So
Dr. Sagar, I
yes,
extended it to May 31, the
May-
survey.
when did we start it?
We started on May 5th.
May 5th. Then let's have until at least June 5th, because we
June 5th.
wanted a whole month.
Okay,
And
I'll change.
we will be drawing a couple of more books, maybe one at oh, that will be late, but we'll follow it up and really remind people to please, do the survey. And Bob, since you are a mentor now,
What I've noticed in the Survey Monkey is they just open it, but they did not do it.
yeah, we really, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it is really for the program. It may take maybe 15, 20 minutes, but it is our way of giving back to the program. The program is off the ground, it is growing, and the program needs every help we can give it. Thank you all so much. And is the steering committee gonna meet for a few minutes?
I just want to say
Yes.
something, Dr. Yago.
Yes.
Yago, thank you very much for understanding. I did read all your 28 pages of your resume, and I apologize that I have to so abridged that I cannot. I say, oh my gosh. So, but I did read it, all 28 pages of it. Thank you very much.
It's a very impressive resume indeed.